The Galactic Tribunal had stood for 11,000 years, and in all that time, not a single being had ever made its ancient chamber fall silent. Until Sergeant Mara Voss walked in, she was unremarkable by most standards. Medium height, brown skin weathered by 3 tours on asteroid mining colonies, a scar running along her jaw from a plasma burn she never bothered to explain. She wore no ceremonial armor, no rank insignia, just standard-issue boots and a gray combat jacket with a torn left sleeve. Behind her, 12 of the galaxy's most powerful species watched with wide eyes, compound lenses, and sensory tendrils trembling in disbelief, because floating above her open palm, balanced perfectly on 2 fingers, was the gravity blade. The gravity blade was not a weapon in the traditional sense. It was a relic, forged in the collapsed core of a dying star by the ancient Velkan civilization, a species that had vanished long before most of the Tribunal's member races had learned to build fire. The blade did not cut flesh. It cut peace-expending gravitational fields around it like paper, capable of collapsing small moons, if wielded without perfect control. Every civilization that had attempted to hold it had failed catastrophically. The Drethian 7-limbed giants with bones dense enough to survive a supernova-S shockwave had tried first. Ambassador Grack recalled it still. 3 of his predecessors had been crushed to paste the moment their fingers wrapped around the hilt. The gravitational feedback alone had fractured the floor of their homeworld's palace. The Savari beings of pure electromagnetic energy had attempted to hold it using magnetic containment fields. The blade had simply inverted their fields and scattered them across 6 dimensions. It had taken weeks to reassemble Ambassador Lyris, the Makari, the Voon Collective, the Ancient Preth. All had tried. All had failed. The Tribunal had locked the gravity blade behind 17 layers of containment after the last incident, declaring it an unhandleable object and archiving it as a monument to limits. Then the humans had arrived. It had started as a diplomatic mission. Earth had only been a Tribunal member for 40 years. Barely a heartbeat in galactic time. Sergeant Mara Voss was there as a security escort for Ambassador Chun. Nothing more. But she had wandered. The containment wing was not restricted to escorted personnel, technically, and Mara Voss had always been cursed or blessed with an almost suicidal curiosity. She had found the blade suspended in its 17-layered field, humming faintly, radiating gravitational pulses that made the air taste like copper. Every sensor in the room had been screaming. Warning lights had painted the walls red. She had tilted her head, studied it for a long moment, and then reached in. Not grabbed. Not seized. Just reached in, the way a person reaches for a pencil rolling off a desk. The alarms had gone silent. The blade had settled against her index and middle finger like it weighed nothing. Like it had been waiting. Later, when Tribunal scientists ran their analysis, they would argue for decades about what had happened. Some theorized it was biological, but human nervous systems evolved under Earth's specific gravitational conditions, produced a microfield that the blade recognized as compatible. Others insisted it was psychological, that the blade responded to expectation. And humans, uniquely, had no cultural memory of the blade's danger. They simply did not know to be afraid. Mara's own explanation, delivered flatly to a chamber of 11,000 years of galactic history, was simpler. It felt a little heavy on one side, she said, adjusting her fingers slightly, so I just balanced it. The chamber remained silent. Ambassador Grack's 7 arms hung limp. Lyris flickered. The Makari elder made a sound that translated, loosely, as of course it was the humans. Mara Voss looked around at them all, genuinely puzzled by the fuss. Did nobody try? Just not squeezing it.